I know you're probably, maybe some of you are watching is just because you see the title. And my purpose is not to trick you on it. Unfortunately, I wish that title was not true, but I have been threatened and been sued multiple times because I don't own these lists, or you can't share these lists because they are in my course. So as you guys know how I work, I don't care. I've been doing this business over 20 years. Nobody owns anything. We've all been taught from somebody else. And the first time a person complains about being copied or anything like that, you can tell they haven't been in the business for a very long time. So all learning of all sorts, including wholesaling, is passed down generation to generation. And we've gotten this cute tick for tack thing going. You can't use this. You can't use this. You can't use this list because I've trademarked the name. So hold on. Hey, so the latest trend is they can't really sue you for using the list. So what they do is they trademark the name. So a lot of gurus go and trademark like certain key phrases. I'm not going to get into them. Honestly, I don't care. You want to spend the money and do all that, that's fine. But when people do that, they try to own the material so nobody else can use the information. And to be honest with you, it's a huge disservice to our entire industry. So today we are going to go through all the lists that gurus have threatened for me for giving it away. Why? Because number one, a lot of them, they've trademarked the name, which I could care less. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that the content's protected. So don't ever worry about someone does something like that. And number two, it tends to hurt their course sales because I give you guys this stuff for free. So that's a little bit on our topic and how it works out. Hold on one second here. Sorry. So it's so what I want you to do is on the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to have the comment section. Introduce yourself. Let us know where you're at and anything I can help you out with. If you have any questions, we kind of open it up on my live here. So that's the fun part, is if you have any questions about wholesaling, about myself, if you're just starting out, you've never done a deal before, you're fine asking the question. There is no dumb question, only the questions you don't ask. So knowing that is, you've got to understand that I'm here to help you guys out. So use the comment section if you just want to ask a quick question or do something like that. And then obviously I see you guys joining on the live. You can do a one-on-one. It is 100% free. There's no charge for it. And once again, the same rules apply. And here's the really cool part is you don't have to do video. So not all of us like having our mugs shared on the internet. Some do it more than others. And I'm perfectly fine with that. So however you want to do it, we will do it. So I'll probably take the first 20, 30 minutes, go over these lists, go into a little bit detail for you and how you can use these lists to help find and navigate your deals through wholesaling. And then we'll jump in and do your comments and questions. And then we'll also do the one-on-one. So those of you guys that are waiting one-on-one, if you want to sit back and relax, whatever you want to do, if you even want to cover your faces while you're waiting, I don't care. You guys see my mugshot the whole time. I'm not going to hurt you. So when I come to you on the one-on-one, just make sure you're around and I'll try to give you a heads up when I'm switching over. So you can kind of do both while you do this. So I appreciate you guys. I see Steve, Olga, Olivia as usual. I see Tim. So I am seeing your questions. So put them in there and I will help you out with stuff. So let's talk about it. So once again, if you guys are brand new to my channel, you are in the right place. We talk about everything wholesaling. So most of you guys go to Flip with Rick, and that is a channel I created years ago that me and my son work together and collaborate on. And we teach everything out of our 7-figure wholesaling business that we still run to this date. And you guys really enjoy that because we share our deals, we share our successes, and actually, we kind of make fun of the father-son team, which is a lot of fun. So I run a family business. I enjoy what I'm doing. I run a small team. We make very large profits, 7 figures, 7-figure operation we do. And I've been doing this going on 21 years. And so I share it with you. Here's the difference between me and every other person you see on the internet and my son, Zach. So we teach wholesaling 100% for free. Why? Because the information is so bad out there. There's so many fake gurus that the information is just overwhelming at this point. And to be honest with you, I believe wholesaling is a very basic skill set. I'm here to simplify the process so you don't have to spend $5,000 or $10,000. Anyone who tells you they have the secret to wholesaling and if you pay them, they'll release it to you, just come on over to my channel because I'll just give you 10 times the information they're going to give and you can check it out for yourself. Because here's the one equation everybody has to understand. It's you that has to do the work. It's you that has to take the massive amount of action. And don't let a guru take claim to your success. I'll show you how to do the success and I'll give you all the credit while you do it. And that's the difference between me and a guru. I just don't believe in charging for this stuff because it's ridiculous. Because number one, I make a ton of money flipping homes, and coaching to me, wholesaling is like learning your ABCDs. I want to teach you how to do this, and it's really easy. I think wholesaling is so simple. I can't believe anybody actually even charges for it. So yes, you all need to figure out to get your mindset right. You need to get out of that 9-to-5 hamster wheel, and I can help you do all that stuff. But I'm telling you, when it comes to wholesaling, it is so simple. You guys are the ones that make it challenging. Gurus make it very complicated. I'm here to demystify all that. So let's talk about the list that none of the gurus want me to share with you, and they're constantly going to threaten me if I throw it up there. So I have to change the names around on some of these for legal precedence because I get tired of paying attorney's fees to protect myself from what I thought was free speech. But apparently, if you use a set amount of words, gurus send you a cease and desist letter, and they do it among common words that's been around 100 years. And somehow they get a trademark on it, which drives me nuts. But so if you notice, I use full words like, I don't know, subject to, because that's been around 100 years. And apparently someone has conjugated that verb to make it trademark, which is ridiculous. Hey, but here's a really cool part. No one's been able to trademark the word free yet. And me and Zach try to monopolize that market. And so unless free becomes illegal and I get served a cease and desist in this live, I'll let you guys know, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it around freely. So guys, make sure that you use the comment section. If you are brand new here, I want you to check on the bottom there. Go over to freewholesaling.com. This is the course where in exchange for your email address, and that is all, 100% disclosure, I don't do the fake free thing where I teach you a few things free and then go, oh, to get access to this information, you have to be a premier member to do that. That is not free. That is called a dog and pony show. It's what's the correct word for it? The correct verbiage for that, I believe, is it's a bait and switch. If you ever got into something, you start using someone's software or something like that, and you think it's pretty cool, and you only went into it as free, and then they go, oh, I'm sorry, you can't actually get the results of that software. We let you put in all the data, but you got to click the subscription to do it, and you got to do it for a year or 6 months. Guys, that stuff's just got to stop. And I believe everybody on here is just tired of the bait and switch on that crap. If you're going to do something free, just give the whole dang thing away for free and leave it at that, and disclose that you have a full mentorship program and it goes up to X amount of number. Guys, and listen, if Tony Robbins can get away with doing it, then we could do this in the wholesaling community. All I ask is you just put blatantly what fees are for it instead of doing a discovery call. Once again, good enough for Tony Robbins, one of the most influential people in the world, probably the best communicator. Why can't we all be just transparent like that? It would make everyone's life easier, and we'd stop putting a black mark on how we sell people in this industry. So that's my rant on that. Be very careful. The word free is such a misleading word now. 95, probably 100, almost 99% of the time, when they say it's free, it ain't free. You get this. That's like saying, listen, I'll give you 3 free tires with your car, but you got to pay for the 4th one. And the 4th tire is like $35,000. The tires, technically, the 3 tires are free as long as you pay for the 4th one. So stuff drives me crazy. So, okay. So you guys go over to freewholesaling.com. The word free, there is no issues here. Check in the comments, check on all our live streams. We never have an issue on it. So if you guys are new to me, you guys probably know my son, Zach. Again, he's very infamous on TikTok. He does very well on Instagram. And as I said, we do a business together. And the idea of this channel is so you guys could get more exposure with me. So let's get started. So let me jump down here and let's go over the lists. Okay. I see some funny comments in here. I promise you, I will get to them all. Guys, all I want, honestly, a lot of people think me and Zach have beefs with gurus. I just have beef with people who try to rip people off. And if you don't have a beef with people like that, then you're not going through life like conscious and aware of it. So just I'm trying to inspire change in this industry. There's a lot of wonderful people in the real estate investing community, particularly the wholesaling community. But for some reason, the way we go about introducing courses, everything like that, I just think it sucks. I had to go through this entire crap you guys did for 20 years. And I just decided about 4 or 5 years ago, I'm done with this stuff. I'm done with the games. Why don't we just be transparent and open? And the idea is you guys will gravitate towards the people that are the most transparent and the most helpful with what they do. So you're going to see a big push for free stuff in wholesaling, especially for 2023. Why? Because the writing's on the handwall for these guys and gals. So if they would just be honest and transparent and go, listen, I got a $10,000 course and I'll teach you how to do your first deal wholesaling. Decide if $10,000 is really worth it for you, because I can tell you it's not. You're not going to be profitable in that deal. End of story. And by the way, once you even slightly do a first deal, you're gone, and they're all going to tell you got to spend money. That's why they hate when me and Zach release these lists. So let's get into the lists. I know, I got a feeling there's a lot of gurus sitting on the other end like, oh crap, he or she's getting ready to call their lawyer. Like, Rick's about to do it again. And I'm like, give me a break. So guys, if you love this comment, make sure you smash that like button. That helps more viewers like you to find this. And God forbid, make sure you are subscribed to the Rick Ginn YouTube channel. So let's dive into it. So guys, the real terminology on this is, it's so funny, is when a guru finds a list and they think they've found gold, like nobody else has ever figured this out, they immediately go and try to trademark the name. And then they hang everything they have on the marketing on it. So maybe it's subject to, or maybe it's like, so by the way, nobody can corner the market on creative financing. Nobody can corner the word on wholesaling. Now, even big corporations aren't in this game. Did you know there's a certain franchise out there that I can't even use their words, but it has to do something about ugly houses? If you put one thing on a printed house that says that, like word for word, you're getting a letter from a lawyer. I think it's ridiculous because these terms have been around for like 100+ years. I'm telling you, our grandfathers were telling their neighbors they had an ugly house. You need to find somebody to buy it. So I'm going to try to get through this list without giggling too much. I just think it's ridiculous. And remember, the whole purpose, somebody trademarking and said, well, I'm trying to build my brand. No, they're not. They're trying to corner their market and trying to make sure everything goes through them. That's why they send out a bunch of cease and desist orders. Do you know there's entire people that make a living off suing off people when they trademark something? So I won't go any further on it. Let's go through list number one. And I purposely changed how I word these lists so I do not get in trouble. So this one, I can't get in too much trouble. We'll start with an easy one. Garage sales. Now, I've been attacked on this one before, and like, so-and-so invented that in 2013, 14. That's funny. I've been doing it since 2003. So I didn't run down to my patent office and record it. So if you're thinking about garage sales, you are not going to garage sales to shop for all the little tchotchke items, which is still a lot of fun. Gary Vee makes an entire living doing that, teaches people how to do it. And you can do that. Obviously, we won't go for the real estate. But the key is, I'm not talking about regular garage sales. We are looking for basically absentee owners, landlords of garage sales. Why? Because garage sales are put up by who? Not the owner of the property, because he or she doesn't live there. It's always going to be the tenant. And when these tenants post these garage sales, and you can find any of them online, anywhere, Facebook groups, Craigslist, it's endless. They're typically doing a very fast move out, and they are wrapping it all up. And 9 times out of 10, these houses are pretty badly damaged. Now, what we do is find the absentee owner, and you can either skip trace. You just look up the absentee owner. If you don't know an absentee owner, it just means it's a landlord. So they don't live there. They rent the house out. And then once I see they posted a garage sale, I'm going to reach out to that owner. I'm going to skip trace them and get their phone number. And then once I get their phone number, I'm going to call them, or you can send them a note in the mail or something like that. Do not put a notice on the door because they don't live there, and say, hey, listen, I noticed you're having a big sale at the property, and just be quiet and see how they respond to that. If you surprise them and shock them, you actually have a great shot at getting a deal, because you just notified them their tenant's moving out, their property's in rough condition. And when you have that change, anything like that in real estate, that's when you get a great opportunity for a deal. Because once it's vacant, 9 times out of 10, that's when the landlord decides if he or she is going to sell the property. And what this is, it's a numbers game. So if you can find 20 or 30 garage sales on a weekend, you can always find 1 or 2 people that are always surprised. And here's the really cool about it. I should label this December garage sales or Christmas garage sales, because December is the biggest month for this. So the idea is, it's a little bit of a rough conversation when they get upset and they find out you just did it. But the reality of the situation is, you're actually helping the landlord out. You're giving him information. And if he or she connects with you, you build some rapport, then at least you can have a shot at looking the property. And if it's in rough shape, it is a great deal for all to have. So I should call it Christmas garage sales until I get a cease and desist letter on it. But by the way, guys, you can find these all for free. It's really not that hard. And you just have to be persistent at it. Now, I will tell you this, make sure you avoid the people that do the chronic garage sales, because they are not your target market. Absentee owners in your market for like rental type homes, and when the tenant gives a garage sale, is usually not a good thing. And they do it very quick, and they usually move out within a week or two of the garage sale. And that's how we found a pattern on a lot of our good deals, that people were having garage sales as we went and looked at the house. And I'm like, why don't we just go ahead and beat them at it? So that's number one. The next one is just a debt lien list. Not that anybody can corner the market on this, but you guys, if you want to use any of the type of softwares that we recommend or anything like that, you can either go through List REI or zacdata.com. And then what we try to do is you can pull up these lists. Now, you can pull up all these lists free. Don't get me wrong. It's all in official records. But if you want to use one of the, you can use PropStream or the Batch. We let you use either one because we're all about free choice for you guys. I am not owned by any company. I don't work for any company. I just promote products that work within my business, and that's why I like to use them. So I'm not a huge fan of the IRS liens because they are a major pain in the butt. On minimum, it takes about 90 days to, on average, with a lot of your diligence, to lift an IRS lien off of a property. Remember, very rarely are you ever negotiating an IRS lien. You just want it lifted off that property. And a lot of times you can do it if you convince the homeowner to settle a portion of that debt so the IRS can get their money so you can move on. The credit card debt thing is basically, it's like a profiling. And why I like it is because it can include your pre-nods. That's your notice of default. And what they do is they build an algorithm. And people that get behind on their car payments, get behind on their debt, and they own a piece of property, it's actually wildly accurate. But the down part is you got to pay for some of this information. Sometimes you have to use third-party vendors. I try to always use them within the softwares that we recommend because they're valid and they're trusted. So listrei.com or zacdata.com. And sometimes you can use third parties. Just be very, very careful with third parties, especially individuals. Make sure they're from a big data company, because if you're taking somebody else's data, you're usually getting used crappy information. Now, one of my favorite lists been coming up that you can easily do through listrei.com is HOA liens. So I don't know about you, but in the state of Florida, HOA liens have a ridiculous amount of power. They can actually supersede the first mortgage, and a lot of them foreclose on it. So a lot of these HOAs want to get these debts paid, and they're wide open to you leveraging a deal with it. It's a little bit more advanced, but it definitely does work. So just keep it in mind when it comes to that. But I don't think anybody can trademark that term. Now we're getting into areas where I've definitely 100% being attacked, and I'm still under scrutiny under this now. So now I got to get Mark Zuckerberg's permission to use Facebook groups. And I've seen people call this meta leads and stuff like this. There's even a quote for somebody uses like a symbol like this, and they throw the word free in there somewhere. And guys, we've been using this strategy since like Facebook came out. So once again, somehow it got invented in, I don't know, 2016, 17. And I know it's been out a lot longer than that. So let me teach you how this simply works. You have Facebook groups. So a lot of you have simple interests, like maybe you like dogs or you like cats, and you join like a dog group. And so you go in there and you get established. You get to know people, you comment. You don't want to go in there like the first day and do it, because that's what all these ridiculous crypto people do. And nobody ever believes in any of that stuff. And once you get established, then you can post in there, hey, just to let you know, I have cash and I buy houses in the area. It's what I do for a living. And you have a certain element of trust. And once you have that trust, you can actually gravitate people towards you through comments, reposts, and stuff like that. And imagine if you're a part of 10 or 12 groups, it works wonderfully. It's a little bit tricky, I'm not going to lie to you, because you do not want to be posting in groups you know nothing about. So if you know nothing about cowboying and how to lasso a cow and stuff like that, you really don't want to do it from there. Those people will probably eat you alive. But this is using the old trick tale of gaining people's trust through other people's influence. But you got to get in that group. You got to be an established member. And once you do that, you can actually get leads pretty much for free. You got to put in the work to do that. I can't use the correct terminology on this because I've definitely been hammered on this one, but Guys, this has been around forever. Nobody owns this stuff. And the fact that you have to pay someone $3, $4, $5, $7,000 to learn this particular technique, remember, that's just one technique of wholesaling. You will go broke, and you see how you get trapped in these guru pits. Like, let me teach you this one little technique. Even back in the days when I sold basic marketing courses, I taught one specific skill set and I priced it accordingly, usually within a couple $100, and everybody was happy and it worked out awesome. But now you have the advent of courses from 2,000 to 10,000. They tell you they'll teach everything. The reality is they don't know anything because they haven't been wholesaling long. And most of them stopped wholesaling so they could be the master guru, because it's much easier to flip students than it is properties. But I digress. So guys, Facebook group strategies, I have a word for it, but I'm not allowed to use it. It works really well. Remember, you have to go to groups that you can establish trust and rapport. So this is my next favorite one. I'm almost scared to use the word vacant anymore, because it's like somebody has so people are putting digits on the end of this phrase and calling it a trademark course, and you can never use that terminology or I will sue you. So guys, I'm under complete threat by even doing this like live stream. I just think I want you to understand the irony of this. Like, can you imagine if like you went and imagine if I trademarked the word fishing. God knows I love to fish. And I said, anybody uses the word fishing owes me $100, or you can't talk about it. It's ludicrous. I think it's crazy how this, and everyone goes, well, it's termed around branding. Okay, well then come up with your own word. And please don't take part of an existing word and make that your brand. Just come up with your own wording and move on. Okay. I did flip with Rick. I don't even why? Because my name's in it and I flip properties. And honestly, I did it when I was a lot younger. I probably come up with more choice words to use now to define what means do accurately, but it works. It's personal. That's a brand. That's fine. And you guys know where you're going to. So vacant land, before I digress, I'm only allowed to use these two words. If I add anything else to it, I'm in violation of, I guess, whatever I agreed to, which I agreed to nothing, and I never will. Vacant land's been around forever. I've been flipping vacant land since 2003. I've had people ask me, do you think vacant land's more attractive right now? Vacant land's always been attractive. It's where all real estate projects start. The challenge with vacant land is you can't turn around and sell it immediately. You're stuck with it. And people are very wary on developing right now. And that is the downside of vacant land. The upside of vacant land, it's dirt cheap. And if you can do an owner financing deal or buy it for little to no money, it's something worth banking in the long run. So don't let anybody ever confuse you about vacant land. All vacant land is you have a piece of land without a piece of property on it, and you don't have to worry about walking anyone through it. You can typically get much longer contingency periods. A lot of vacant land is 60 to 90 days as opposed to a property 30 days or under. And some people just don't care. And if you have to back out of a land contract, it's easy. There's a lot less emotional reaction because obviously nobody's living on the property, but they got their hands on. I love vacant land. I always do vacant land, never will stop doing vacant land. It's a little bit more challenging, the price sometimes, and you have to decide if you're selling it to an individual on an infill lot. An infill lot means all the infrastructure is built around the neighborhood and there's just one or two lots remaining that need to be built on, meaning the sewer's already set up, the power's already set up, and obviously they're a lot more attractive. Raw land can be challenging because you don't know what it's finally going to be permitted for. You don't know the cost of the infrastructure, and sometimes you have to wait for the infrastructure. So unless you want to do the Elon Musk thing with the Starlink and have like an off-the-grid house, which is horribly expensive, you would never want to do that if you lived in unless you lived out, in the wilderness. Understand vacant land is always going to be around. So one of my next ones here, let's see. I recently was told I'm not supposed to do estate sale. So I'm going to call it estate sales. It's got an S on the end. So if a lawyer's watching me right now, estate sales have been around for thousands of years, back to the beginning of time. People have always stole stuff, especially when people pass away. Why I like estate sales is there's people in your community, in your towns, that their job is to advertise for people that got a lot of junk in their house or people that have recently passed away. And they got to get and liquidate all the belongings in the house, and they want to get it sold, and they don't want to deal with any of it. So they typically reach out to estate sales. Here's the best place. You got to use sales with an S, guy, or we get in trouble. This is so funny. I should have a lawyer sitting right next to me. Is they typically advertise these in newspapers still, or on the sides of those diner plates you have on them. And it's best for you to form a relationship with these companies. Now, they're typically ladies that run these companies because let's face it, the ladies are more organized and they can talk people off a ledge a lot easier than us men can. And all you want to do is let them know that at the end of the day, if they need to sell the property, you'd be happy to cut them a referral fee if the client decides to move forward with you. Okay. You're not paying them a commission or doing anything like that. And you can actually have them help promote the house to sell while they're doing the estate sale. Guys, I have 3 estate salespeople I use in my local market, and they work out phenomenally. Now, they're not going to call you on every deal, but every now and then they're like, hey, would you ever just consider selling the house? Now, here's how I also pitch the estate salespeople. I can go in and make an offer on the house. I'll make an offer for everything in it, and I'll just give you the estate stuff. So they don't really have to share in any of the profits with anyone. So say I buy a house for $100,000, we'll just take everything in the house, which I look at everything in the house as junk anyways. And by the way, guys, just so you know, don't ever open a thrift store if you want to get in real estate because there's no money in it. There's a reason why stuff goes to thrift because nobody else wants it. Your typical piece of furniture, the day after you buy it, it drops in 80% in value, if not 90%. The stuff's just not, it's just not worth anything. Nobody likes used furniture. Go out. That's why you don't see a lot of people asking for used beds, used couches. They're usually hand-me-downs because they cost more to move. So go out and establish these relationships with these estate sales with an S, and you will do very well with it. I'm telling you, it is, I love estate sales. I've never stopped doing them. And just that little method I just taught you right there is what's in it for the estate sale people if they work for you. Because a lot of times they have to either split the profits or they come to some sort of an agreement to do it. So if you can give them the stuff for free, then like you're the best friends. Let's get to my favorite list. And you guys know exactly what this is. And it's probates. And by the way, I've been told by five gurus, I'm not allowed to share this list because it's in their course. I don't give a crap. I really don't care. Probates are probates. When somebody passes away, a probate is nothing more than a court-appointed approval of the sale of the asset. And it's not just real estate, cars, boats, RVs, land, bank accounts, stock certificates, bonds, you name it, no matter what it is. And then the court is just to make sure that the deceased person's final wishes are carried through. They appoint through their will a PR, a personal representative, or an executor, depending where you are. And then that person enters into agreements and they decide, they make the final decision on what the asset's going to sell for. Now, I love probates because I honestly think if you work with me, you get a huge advantage because I show you how to work on these probates and give you the competitive advantage over anybody else. Because 8 out of 10 lawyers, probably 9 out of 10 lawyers will tell you cannot sell a piece of property until the probate's complete. It is 100% a lie. I've yet to find a state where that is a factual statement. The reason they use that statement is a fear statement, and it gives the lawyer absolute control. So I teach you how to bust through that and get it done quickly. If you guys want to learn more, spend time with me. I post a lot of this stuff on my Flip with Rick channel, on my Rick Ginn channel here too. And you guys know how I feel about probates. Probates are by far my most profitable, highest yielding wholesale deals to date. If you guys just did 1 or 2 wholesales a year, it would be doing like 5 regular wholesale deals. So they're challenging. They take some more time. And man, do you have to be patient doing probates. There is no other word to describe it. That's how you have to do it. But I never stopped doing it. It lacks the sex appeal of like huge volume, like let's go fast, let's get a deal. But my average probate exceeds $37,000. Now it's gone down a little bit this year, but you know, that's kind of a market condition. But considering the average wholesale between 10 and 20 grand, that is a substantial increase on what you guys typically do over them. And by the way, they're the easiest properties to sell. They're typically vacant. They need a lot of work. They are perfect for what we do in wholesaling. So if I had to pick from the list, hands down, I would pick probates. I'm waiting for someone to completely try to shut me down and say, you can't do it. And guys, whenever a guru tells you, you can't use that word, you can't use this, it is a control piece. It doesn't make sense. If we're truly all here to help people out, why would you care if I use a word? Because I promise you, every guru or every coach was taught this business by somebody else. So if everybody trademarks every name going forward, we're all going to be in a world of hurting in 10 years because you can't use any words. Everyone's going to sue everyone. And the only reason people do it, in my opinion, is out of greed. Other than your own name or if you created a word and you want to do it, that's the only reason you would do it. Like me and Zach used the word government list. I'm not going to go out and trademark it, although I should probably never get approval, but you'll never hear another guru use the words government list because number one, they don't want to promote a free list because a free list would hurt the value they think they offer to you. And number two, how do you market a free list? How do you can't. If you come in my course, you pay me $10,000, I go, hey, you got to go attack all these free lists, you're probably going to get pissed. And I just want you to understand, I hate the title like we use today, but unfortunately it's true. I have been chased around and harassed by so-called gurus because they've trademarked a name on stuff. And for the most part, the word threatened is like about as far as most people will go with me because I'm very well versed in how the legal world works. But I find it ridiculous. I'd love to take some people on because the fact that you think you can own a word and nobody else can use it and they have to pay you a fee for it, ridiculous. So if you created a brand new product and it's never been used before, knock yourself out. But if you're doing something that people have been doing for hundreds of years before you, and then you get cute with the title, I don't agree with what you're doing. I'm sorry. And I'll fight you till the day I die. So that's my rant on these lists. Look past the gimmicks of the words and stuff we use. All these lists I just told you, they work phenomenally. They work. And if you're not using them in your business, you're missing out. Obviously, I want you to use government lists or any court appointed leads, your code violations, your fire damage, your water shutoffs, your probates, your evictions, your pre-foreclosures, and divorce. I'm not a big fan on divorce on that. So let me go through some comments here. I marked some of these, and then I'm going to jump on the lives, and let's get into it. So, wow, a lot of people on today. Really cool. So George asks, hey, Rick, I'm from South Texas. My question is, when driving for dollars, are there houses that I should pass on, such as wooden ones that look like they need a lot of work? No. Because George, remember, you're not living in them. Number two, you're not going to fix them up. You're looking for people that need help in their situation. So if we can flip a vacant piece of land, then you can easily flip one of these properties. Worst case scenario is the whole property needs to be demoed and you just price it out for land. So guys, don't ever filter your leads based on what you see until you're in this business for at least 2 years, because you don't have enough knowledge to go, okay, this works, this doesn't work. I've had big, beautiful, incredible houses that look like they worked well. And then I had properties just like George alluded to here, this thing's never going to work. You never know what people's situations are. Remember, all real estate are symptoms of human problem. The real estate's never really the problem. It's the humans that own and operate the real estate that are the train wreck. And that's what we do in wholesaling. So at the end of the day, I say a wholesaler is part psychologist, you're part welfare worker, you're master negotiator, and you're definitely a master marketer. And so, but good question, really good. So Emery's he's on here all the time. I heard a guy in Guru say he invented something already used and not new in 1980 before he was born. So do you guys know what the word guru means? Do you know a guru is really, it really focuses on a religious person that you look up to. So I don't even know how guru got even wrapped up in the information age, because, well, I don't know. A couple gurus seem like they're like it could be. I saw somebody posting about getting tattoos of guru stuff. And to me, that's crazy. So I have a lot of rock bands I grew up and I idolized. I thought about getting a tattoo. I go, it's probably going to be a bad decision down the road. So guys, please don't get a tattoo after a guru or anything like that. You might want to check with your wife or your kids. You can do what you want, but if you ever get a tattoo, make sure it's got personal meaning to you. Don't get someone's identity other than you and your families as a tattoo. And now I'm giving you tattoo consultants. So I only got one, so I'm not an expert on it. So, okay, cool, man. Let's see here. So he says, most courses are garbage. Anyways, Rick and Zach are the most authentic and appreciate you guys. So listen, for full disclosure, not every course is garbage. There's a lot of good people out there. Unfortunately, it's a lot less than bad. So if you gave me 10 gurus, I'm going to tell you probably 80% of them are not going to represent what they're telling you. Unfortunately, it's the truth. I've been in the business long enough. I know these numbers well. I've talked to most gurus. That's how it is. It's all a big sales game. And whoever can push revenue the hardest is usually the winner. And I hate the testimonials and gurus because they only pick the people that just started or the people that got 1 or 2 deals. And the problem is, if you saw 5 testimonials, that means you had probably 90 people that failed behind them. And that's why me and Zach never, ever never go around and chase you guys for testimonials. Number one, I let you post the good and the bad. I don't care. I'm just going to tell you how it is. And that's the benefit of getting someone that you don't have to pay, is they can actually tell you the truth. You guys can say what you want. Like, oh, my mentor, my coach is giving me tough love. If you give them 5 or 10 grand, he or she, you're not going to get tough love. You're going to get like soft love for the first 30 days because that's the refund policy. And then after that, they might get a little bit. Just my opinion, guys.